Hi, today is Saturday, July 22nd, 2017, and this is a Sweet Speaks. And today I have a guest, my friend and brother in Christ, Reverend Julius. You've been with us once before, so this is the second time we make a video together.
That's right.
And well, I guess you started something new since last time we spoke. You started a YouTube channel. Maybe you could tell us a little about that one.
Thank you, viewers. I have two things. One is my blog, because the YouTube channel is really a product of the blog.
Yes.
In my blog, which is called the New Dawn Ministries, I write daily devotions, and occasionally I write articles which are really not very devotional, but articles which are good for Christian readers. And so my blog, the New Dawn Ministries, publishes daily devotions and other articles. And then these articles, which especially the devotions, I tend to shoot a video and then upload on my YouTube channel, which I also call the New Dawn Ministries. So it's like the YouTube is a daughter site to the blog. So it's been a very interesting time for me to be able to have daily devotions, because first of all, it enriches me, because I have to write a message, and the message which I write is basically my daily devotion, because I read the Bible. I have tried to read the Bible from Genesis. Now I'm in the book of Hosea, which I finished today, and tomorrow I will begin the next book, that's Amos, and then continue. So my reflections from the books that I read is exactly what I write in my blog, and where applicable, it's what I shoot the video and then I upload on the YouTube channel.
Yes. I try to follow your channel, and I think that the videos are very inspirational.
Thank you.
So I recommend them to everyone, and I will add a link to both your blog and to the channel when when I add links to the description box. And you also recently wrote a book.
Yes, I have written a book recently. The e-version is available on Amazon Kindle, but the hard copy or the paperback is yet to be published, and if that comes out, it will also be available on Amazon. The book which I just been working about, the title is called Suffering and Pain, which is a form of a question, and then the answer to this question comes in the subtitle of the book. Be not anxious, because God is in control. The reason why I have decided to write this book is because I have discovered suffering has like a dual edge. There is a way that it can make one draw to God, but also there is a way it can make one who knows God, one who worships God, it can draw one away from God if one gets in extreme suffering. And so this book is particularly encouraging believers. Primarily, it's really a book that encourages believers that when they experience moments of pain and suffering, either through sickness, through loss of jobs and other things, anything that can cause pain and suffering, the book encourages us not to be anxious, because that is what the Bible tells us in Philippians chapter 4 verse 6, be not anxious, but in everything, in prayer, in petition, in thanksgiving, make your request known to God. So are you in suffering and pain? The answer which I seek to write in this book is that be not anxious, because God is in control.
Because I have started to read that book. I have yet to finish it, but I noticed that you used Job in the Old Testament as an example.
Yes, I have used Job so much in this book, because I think in the biblical history or in another narrative of histories, I think Job is one of the persons who have been so much devastated, so much than another person recorded that I've so far read about. And so I find his story very interesting for two reasons especially. Because at the end of all his suffering, Job did not drift away from God. In fact, at the end of it all, Job said that praise be to God, and that was quite interesting to me. For somebody to have suffered all that, you will expect somebody to begin to curse God, and it's like, God, are you there? If you're there, why do you allow me to experience all this? I mean, that is the kind of intellectual question that people are asking today. If God is there, why do people suffer? Why do people suffer? But Job was able to say, praise be to God. So I have used his example so much as to fresh up, especially, to fresh up the book.
Yes, he's a good example.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of things going on now, and you're also, since I know that you are soon going to go back to Uganda.
Yes.
I'm a little interested in your experiences from Scandinavia. Maybe we could, or you could compare, Scandinavia to your home country of Uganda or the region of East Africa, and also when it comes to Christians you have met here and Christians where you come from.
Yeah. Well, I think I believe every city, every country is very special in its own way. And so sometimes it's a little bit unfair to compare places,
yes.
Especially if the comparison is from a perspective that seeks to find out maybe which country, which city is better or what. But I think I have almost spent my 2 years, which is soon ending, here in Oslo. Although I've been in Stockholm for about 3 days,
yes,
and maybe 6 hours in Copenhagen. So I would say at least I've been able to go to the major cities in the Scandinavian countries. I think they are beautiful cities. I was quite impressed with Stockholm, especially when I went there. I stayed in the old town. It has made me to have a feel of the old Swedish city, and then of course the newer part of the city. I've been to a number of museums to learn a lot of Swedish stories, and of course the famous ship that sank.
You went to the Vasa Museum.
That was quite interesting to me. Yeah, these are beautiful cities with lovely people, and yes, of course, for me who has come from a country where literally people, the community stays together, not as individuals. Sometimes it can be a little bit depressing, because you find almost from sunset to sunrise to sunset you are almost alone, except if you go to school you can have, or maybe if you make appointments. But
yes.
For me back at home I don't have to make much appointments to chat with friends. Friends pass by my place and we chat. I pass by their place without an appointment and we chat, and that's not really life which is here.
No.
It's a kind of life that you basically live alone, except few times when you interact with the people either at school, or especially for me who has been studying. That's one kind of experience that I found in this particular city. That's a little bit different from where I've come from. But also I've loved this city because of the trust I think people have for one another. For example, in the public transport, sometimes you move for 1 month and nobody comes to check your transport ticket. I mean, it's trusted that at least people take responsibility, to be able to do what they're expected to do. I mean, of course, that's a little bit. If that happens in my country, you may. Much of the 90% of the people will never take their responsibility to buy tickets. They'll use that advantage to be able to just travel freely. Maybe because of the poverty level, I don't know. But I love that from this city.
So that brings me to what might wrap this up. I think you touched on it already, but do you think there are some things that, we Scandinavians, and maybe especially when it comes to Christians, but Scandinavians in general, that we could learn from, from people from Uganda and from East Africa, and also the other way around, if there is something that you could learn from us?
Yes, I think one of the things I have especially learned from the church in Norway, especially the church as an institution, is the way the church has done some kind of investment. I mean infrastructure investments, maybe like apartment buildings, that's able to generate a kind of income for the church. The church in Uganda majority of the churches just depending on basket givings every Sunday or tithe and other. The church has not so much invested to be able to sustain itself so well, and because of that, majority of pastors, especially in the mainline churches, they have poor working conditions because the church cannot.
Because you can't give them a decent wage?
Yes, yeah. They cannot give them decent housing, decent wage, decent retirement, and so on and so on. So I think, that's one thing which I think I have learned. But on the side of spirituality, I have discovered Christians in this region, if one says I am a Christian, really, that person truly is a Christian. Those are the other people who will say, yes, I've been Christianized, but they will not directly say I'm a Christian. Those are people who are kind of in a balance. They are not really so much willing to identify themselves as a Christian. They just say, I have been Christianized.
Right.
But those who come out boldly and say, I am a Christian, you really see the commitment. You really see this person in this environment, which is rated to be one of the most increasingly atheistic, regions in the world.
Yes.
When somebody says I'm a Christian, you can imagine what that person means. So,
stating that you're a Christian in Scandinavia is going against the main narrative, or the main. You sort of have to go against the mainstream then. So then you have to mean something too.
Yeah.
But do you think there is something that we Scandinavians could learn from Uganda or from East Africa?
I think the church in Uganda, in East Africa, and maybe pretty much the entire sub-Saharan Africa is trying to keep orthodoxy, remaining true to biblical teachings. Yes. And I think that generally the church in the West, but I think the Scandinavian churches, the Church of Norway, the Church of Sweden, I've been reading so much about these churches. Yes. I think they're getting so much liberal day by day and day by day. And I think that kind of keeps redefining Christianity each and every time. And I wouldn't think that is really what ought to be. Yeah, so I think there is need for us to, as Christians, for us to keep what defines us. And of course, the authority of the Bible is key in this area. So when we become too liberal, then we lose identity, we lose what defines us. We get moved by the times.
Yes.
And I mean that's a little bit dangerous. So I think the stand of the church in sub-Saharan Africa, especially in trying to keep orthodoxy of the scripture and the church doctrine, church teaching,
yes,
is one thing which I think the church in Scandinavia should be able to move, at least, or to learn from the church in Africa.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, of course, it's not easy to generalize in such areas, because even in Africa there are some churches that I guess they are getting more liberal, but majority of the churches in Africa, I would say, they try to
to remain true to the scripture. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
hope and pray it stays that way. Okay, before we end this, is there something you would like to add?
Well, I first of all, I want to thank my Christian friends in Oslo, who have made really my stay here not so much different from what I would be if I was back at home, because I've continued close fellowship with friends like you and quite many other friends with whom from time to time I do fellowship together, and it's always been quite good to be able to have these times of fellowship. And of course, I am now moving to Uganda about in 1 month's time, and maybe I ask you who is watching this video to look through the links to my blog and my YouTube channel, which he's going to share in the comment of this video, and I ask you to sign to this tool, the channel and the blog, so that my devotions and other articles that I write and the videos of the devotions that I upload on my channel, whenever they get published, you get them on your device direct. But also, as I moved to Uganda, I have been experiencing 24 hours non-stop internet here in Oslo.
Yes.
That is not going to be the case in Uganda. It's going to be different. I will have to, from time to time, if I need to use internet, I will have to buy every time. And of course, that's going to mean a lot. So for me to be able to sustain my channels, I need people who can support me, especially to be able to make the cost for internet and
Yes.
and other few things. So if you sign to my blog or to my YouTube channel to begin following me, you may also find somewhere where you can support the new Dawn Ministries, and I'll be grateful to have you who is viewing the Sweet Speak to be able to subscribe. The last time I think I featured on this channel, I got a number of people who were redirected to my blog through the YouTube channel which you are watching here. So I'll be very grateful once again if I will be able to get that support from you.
Yes. So we'll hope and pray that that works out, and
Sure.
I highly recommend you to check out Reverend Julius, both his blog and his YouTube channel.
And of course on Amazon I have my previous 2 books.
Yes.
I Must Get Married, but How Do I Get There? That book is not yet on Amazon, but soon it will be on Amazon. But the other book, Triumphing Over Odds, both the ebook and the paperback is available, so you can buy the book very cheaply. The ebook is not more than $3, which is really very cheap, and the paperback is not more than $10. That's very cheap. You can get for yourself a copy of 8 of those books and read through and let me have your feedback on those books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a small but vital investment.
Thank you.
And well, thank you very much for coming here again.
Thank you.
And well, God bless you.
God bless you too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And well, that's really all we have to say right now. So I would like to thank everyone who is supporting this channel, and I also recommend you to take a look at Julius's channel and his blog, and support him too if you want to.
Yeah.
And well, if you like this channel, as I used to say, please subscribe and please share my videos. And if you like this video, please like it. And of course, I would also like to encourage you to support this channel, and I will include all the necessary information in the description box below. So this is A Sweet Speaks and Reverend Julius. Have a nice and blessed day.